Most gardeners think pest problems are, just a normal part of the deal. Aphids on the kale, hornworms on the tomatoes, beetles chewing holes in the beans. Pretty familiar stuff, right? The common advice is always to spray something, trap something, or just buy another so-called organic pest control product. But here's the truth: most gardeners, discover after a few years, pests usually show up when the garden ecosystem is already out of balance. Weak soil creates weak plants, and weak plants attract insects like a magnet. It's honestly the same pattern you see everywhere in nature. Stressed plants release chemical signals that basically tell insects, this one's easy to eat. One of the fastest ways to see if your soil system is actually healthy is by looking at your compost. If the biology in your compost isn't active, the soil food web in your garden won't be either. That's why I always keep a compost thermometer in my pile. The one I use is the Reotemp 36-inch Fahrenheit Backyard Pro Compost Thermometer with digital composting guide, because it lets me check the core temperature without digging the pile apart. If compost isn't heating into the 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit range, microbes aren't doing their job. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. And that brings us to something fascinating about traditional farming systems like Amish gardens. They rarely rely on chemical pest control, yet their crops stay remarkably healthy. And honestly, the reason has a lot to do with something incredibly simple that most modern gardeners overlook. The strange stick you'll see in traditional gardens. If you walk through certain traditional gardens, you'll notice something unusual. Small sticks scattered through the beds. They're not supports for plants, they're not markers. They're deliberately placed pieces of wood, often about 8 to 12 inches tall, stuck upright in the soil. At first glance it looks random, but those sticks serve a very specific purpose. They create habitat, and that tiny change in the environment completely shifts the balance of insects in the garden. Why pest insects thrive in modern gardens. Modern gardening advice often focuses on killing pests, but pests rarely exist alone. In nature, every pest insect has predators. Lady beetles eat aphids, parasitic wasps attack caterpillars, ground beetles hunt slugs and larvae, hoverflies consume soft-bodied pests. When gardens are simplified into bare soil rows with uniform crops, those predator insects lose the habitat they need to survive. Without shelter, perching spots and hunting territory, beneficial insects disappear. Once that happens, pests reproduce unchecked. This is why spraying often makes the problem worse over time. You eliminate some pests temporarily, but you also wipe out their predators. The stick method quietly fixes this problem. That simple stick in the soil provides vertical structure. Predatory insects use it as a perch to hunt. Spiders attach webs between them. Hoverflies land on them to rest. Small birds use them to scan the garden for caterpillars. The effect seems minor, but it changes the hunting efficiency of beneficial insects dramatically. In one of my raised bed experiments, I installed small wooden sticks about every 3 feet along the beds. Within a week, I started noticing more hoverflies and lady beetles. Aphid populations dropped noticeably within 2 weeks. Nothing was sprayed, no traps were used. The predators simply had a place to operate from. Soil health quietly supports the whole system. Of course, predator insects alone don't solve everything. Plant health still matters. And that brings us back to compost and soil biology. When soil is rich in microbial life, plants absorb nutrients more efficiently. Their cell walls become stronger. Their leaves produce defensive compounds that deter insects. In other words, healthy plants are naturally more resistant. That's one reason Amish-style gardening systems put so much emphasis on compost, manure, and soil building. If you maintain active compost that consistently reaches proper temperatures, you're feeding billions of microbes that eventually populate your garden soil. Those microbes are part of the plant's immune system. A small adjustment that multiplies predator insects. If you want the stick method to work even better, placement matters. Spacing them roughly every 3 to 4 feet works well in most vegetable beds. The sticks should rise slightly above the plant canopy once crops grow. This gives insects a vantage point. Natural wood works best because it blends into the environment and slowly decomposes, adding organic matter back into the soil. I often use pruned branches from fruit trees. That way, nothing goes to waste. Many gardeners accidentally remove predator habitat. One of the biggest mistakes I see is overly clean gardens. Gardeners remove every stick, leaf, and piece of organic debris. The beds end up looking tidy, but the ecosystem becomes sterile. Beneficial insects need complexity. They need places to hide during the day, shelter from wind, and surfaces to land on. When the garden offers those things, predator populations grow naturally. This works in raised beds and container gardens too. A lot of people think ecological pest control only works in large rural gardens. That's not true. I've used the same stick method in small raised beds and even in container gardens. In container systems, small bamboo stakes work well. They provide the same perching structure without taking up much space. In hydroponic setups, where plants are grown in greenhouse environments, vertical structures can also encourage beneficial insects like parasitic wasps. The principle is always the same. Provide habitat for predators and they'll control pests for you. The biggest secret behind low-pest gardens. And the stick method is only one part of the system. The bigger principle is biodiversity. Traditional gardens mix crops, flowers, herbs, and structural elements. That diversity supports a complex food web. When one pest species appears, predators are already present to keep it under control. Compare that with monoculture gardens where one crop fills the entire space. Those gardens become buffets for pests. Watching the ecosystem change is surprisingly fast. When gardeners first try these methods, they expect results to take months, but ecosystems respond quickly. Once predator insects discover a reliable hunting ground, they stay. Within 2 or 3 weeks, the insect balance in a garden can shift dramatically. Pests rarely disappear completely, but they stop reaching damaging levels, and that's the real goal. Healthy gardens don't eliminate insects, they maintain balance. Why understanding ecology makes gardening easier. A lot of gardening advice focuses on controlling problems, but experienced growers eventually learn something different. The most productive gardens are managed like ecosystems, not factories. When soil microbes, plants, insects, and predators all interact properly, the garden becomes far more resilient. That's why paying attention to things like compost health, habitat structure, and biodiversity matters so much. Even something as simple as placing sticks in the soil can tip the balance in your favor. If you found this useful, subscribe to the channel because we focus on practical gardening knowledge that actually works in real growing environments, raised beds, backyard gardens, and intensive food systems. And if you know another gardener constantly battling pests with sprays and traps, share this video with them, because once you understand how natural predator systems work, you stop fighting your garden. Instead, the garden starts working with you.